Coming off a nice Christmas Day sweep, and now we got the Seahawks and Bears on Thursday Night Football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're back to talk some more NFL football. Week 17 already. Absolutely crazy. It was a nice Christmas for us. 2-0 sweep in the NFL. Also had a 2-0 sweep in the NBA. Hopefully, you guys had a great Christmas as well with your family and your loved ones. We're back to the grind. And quick heads up, speaking of NBA, there will be no video for Thursday. We just had enough time to do this one video for Thursday Night Football. Just spending a lot of time with family, and my goal is to kind of take a mental break and all that for Christmas. But we will be back for the NBA slate on Friday. So if you're looking for my best bets, I will still have those in the NBA on Thursday. They will be on the community tab on our YouTube profile page, on X, and on Discord, which is completely free. Go click the link below to join. So just want to let you guys know of that. Any graphics you see in this video, though, are from an app called OUTLIER. It's the best player prop research tool on the market today. I use it every single day. That's right. Just ask my wife. Like I say all the time, I am on this thing constantly. It is incredible. It gives you so much help, saves you so much time. If you guys want to join OUTLIER, you have a 7-day free trial by just clicking the link below. You got nothing to lose. So that's what we got. Let's get into it, though. I got a dad joke. I actually got two because they're so dumb that I have to put two of them on here. Here we go. What did the big flower say to the little flower? Hi, bud. Why did the coffee file a police report? It got mugged. Yep, classic. In this video, we're going to recap. We got Monday Night Football to recap and Christmas Day to recap. And then we're going to preview and give our best bets for my Seattle Seahawks at the Bears. And then we'll finish it up with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below to help this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we're on our way to 35,000 subscribers. Let's get into it. And that means it's recap time. All right, there it is, the beautiful 3-0 recap that we got. We started Monday Night Football in that terrible game, Saints at Packers. Packers put an absolute beat down. Didn't matter what spread you took, they covered it. Easy, -7.5 win in the first half there. Xavier Worthy over 51.5 rush plus receiving yards on Christmas Day. He gets the job done. I don't know how many he ended with, but it was pretty simple. He cashed early in the third quarter. And then this last one was a sweat. Lamar Jackson over 1.5 passing touchdowns. They scored a lot of touchdowns. I think it was 4 exactly. And he got one, I think it was the second touchdown, and luckily added on one more at the end because they were getting some rushing touchdowns with Lamar's legs and Derrick Henry. But he comes through for us and gets the job done for our only 1-unit play. So we're starting to get on a little roll. 11-5 run. Now 137 to 129, up 8.34 units. Let's stay hot these last 2 weeks of the NFL season. But that's what we got for the recap. Now let's talk Thursday Night Football. All right, we head out to Chicago where the Bears host my Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks -4. Total in this game is 42.5. Here's the deal. If you've been listening to our videos all season long, we have one team in the Seahawks I cannot figure out. My own favorite team. They are all over the place. I've struggled lately betting on their games. And then we have the Bears. We know they have let me down constantly, but we finally cashed last week, fading them, taking the Lions -6. So maybe that's a trend of things to come. But speaking of trends, the Bears are a league worst 4-11 against the spread in the first half this year, including 0-5 against the spread in the last 5 games in the first half. We've talked about it many times. They had a 3-game stretch where they scored 0 points in the first half. So notable injury, Kenneth Walker is out again for the Seattle Seahawks. Bears now on a 9-game losing streak. In that stretch, they are 2-7 against the spread. That Hail Mary ended their season like 9 or 10 weeks ago. It's been brutal since then. Last 3 weeks, they are now outscored 102-42 by their opponents. Lost all 3 games by 17 or more points to the Niners, Vikings, and Lions. Seahawks, like I've talked about, a tough team to figure out, kind of like the whole NFC West is, but they've been an up and down team, and they've been a really strange team offensively. They are a much better team on the road. I don't mean team, sorry. They're a much better offense on the road, averaging 27 points per game on the road. At home, 19.7. It's a pretty big difference, one of the biggest in the NFL. They lost 2 straight games to the Packers and the Vikings, both at home. A tough 3-point loss to the Vikings last week. Like I said, just a really hard team to figure out with this rookie head coach. So take that for what it is. I'm going to go over my one best bet, and then I'm also going to give you 2 leans just to kind of talk through some more things as well. So my best bet in this game, It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's the number one receiver right now for the Seahawks. Give me Jackson Smith and Jigba over 67.5 receiving yards at minus 110 on Bet365. I have no idea what Bet365 is doing dropping this line. This line needs to be at least in the mid 70s, in my opinion. I just don't understand it. So let's talk the numbers now. This guy has been the number one receiver for quite a few weeks now for the Seahawks. He's been unbelievable. So as you can see by this screenshot with OUTLIER, he is over this line in 8 straight games. That's right, 8 straight. Not just that, how about 74 or more receiving yards in 7 straight games? In these last 8 games, let's talk about it. Averaging over 8 targets per game. And he also has 24 targets in the last 2 games. He's top 10 in the NFL in targets in the last 8, fifth most receptions in the NFL the last 8, ninth in yards after catch in the NFL, and a solid 10.1 ADOT in the last 8. ADOT is just average depth of target, and then 13th most air yards at 721. He is also the 7th highest percentage of his own team's air yards in the last 8 weeks. He's just been an absolute stud. Now the matchup. The only solid corner I really worry about for the Bears, we talked about it before, is Jalen Johnson. But he rarely plays inside, so I'm not worried about it because Jackson Smith and Jigba lines up in the slot quite a bit. I think he's going to get a lot of Tyreek Stevenson, and that's not a problem at all. Stevenson is not very good, and JSN is just unbelievable. But Bears have allowed the 14th most receiving yards to wide receivers, but struggling lately. Last week, 143 Jameson Williams, 70 to Amon-Ra St. Brown. 2 weeks ago, 73 to JJ and 63 to Jordan Addison. And then 3 weeks ago, how about 90 yards to Jawan Jennings? They also gave 151 to George Kittle. I know he's a tight end, but just want to let you guys know. Jackson Smith and Jigba has one catch of 24 more receiving yards now in 5 straight games, makes some big plays. If you don't know much about him, he's a guy who can get both air yards and great yards after catch guy. One of the best route runners in the entire NFL, in my opinion. If you know the Seahawks, kind of reminds me a little bit of Doug Baldwin and his ability to create separation down the field. It's pretty unbelievable. One of the best route runners coming out of college. And so this is a guy I expect to get 8+ targets again. 67.5 is just too low in my opinion. So give me JSN over 67.5 as my one and only best bet. This is a 1-unit play for me. I like it. Possible ladder spot up to 90 as well. But that's my best bet. Now let's talk a couple leans. All right, let's talk through a couple leans. Again, these are not best bets or anything I've made yet, but just something that I was kind of interested in. The first one, over 42.5. Like I said, Seahawks much better on the road offensively. Last 2 average defenses they faced also, they've both been on the road. 30 versus Arizona, they scored 26 against the Jets. Last 2 weeks have been against pretty solid defenses in the Vikings and the Packers, and we saw what happened. So when they face these average to below average offenses, or defenses, you see their offense pick up a little bit. I also like their team total over a little bit. Bears defense has gotten much worse versus the pass. In the last 3 games, they've given up the 4th most passing yards per game. The Hawks average is 6th most pass attempts per game. And they've also given up the 6th highest passer rating to opposing quarterbacks the last 3 weeks. I think we see a lot of points here. We've seen Caleb Williams actually play pretty decent the last few weeks. It's really just been his defense, his whole line. There's a lot of players around him letting him down. I think the Bears are going to move the ball here a little bit, especially through the air with their receivers. So, like I said, I think 42.5 is too low. I like the over in that one. And then my second one is another player prop. DJ Moore over 5.5 receptions. He's over this line in 6 straight games, 7+ receptions in 5 of those 6. And he's been a highly efficient receiver. In 5 of the last 6 games combined, he caught 35 of 40 targets. Now, he did have one other game where he had 16 targets and only caught 8, but for the most part, he's been very efficient, averaging over 9 targets per game this in the NFL in the last 6 games, 7th most targets in the NFL over the last 6. Keenan Allen is number 1 in the most targets in the NFL. It's someone you could look at as well. 4 receptions, but he's been more up and down. It hasn't been as consistent. Keenan Allen had 2 games with 9 catches and 2 other games with 5 and 3. You see DJ Moore, he has been very steady. Now, here's the reason why I like receptions. His role has changed lately, if you haven't noticed. He's used a lot more near the line of scrimmage with screen plays, shorter routes, things like that. His ADOT, average depth of target, get this, it is only 6.3 the last 6 games. Average depth of target is 6.3 yards on the field. That's terrible. So out of the top 30 wide receivers in targets in the last 6 weeks in the NFL, DJ Moore by far has the lowest ADOT out of all 30 of them. It's crazy. So that's why I like receptions, because I don't care what he does after him. He's just going to keep getting these dinks and dunks. And that's why you've seen him go over, in 6 straight games. So, and he could get some yards after catch and go over his receiving yards as well. But because of his ADOT and just kind of the routes he runs, I like receptions a lot more. So the over 42.5 in the game, DJ Moore, over 5.5 receptions, just some leans for you guys to do your own research and things like that. Maybe you like them, maybe you don't, but just want to talk through a couple more plays. So that was my only best bet and the 2 leans. Now, before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. The one and only bet, a 1-unit play. Give me JSN over 67.5 receiving yards at -110 on bet 365. Let's get a winner. That's all I got. Of course, if you just fast forward to that part, I also gave out a couple leans in the video as well. But if you're looking for NBA, we did not have time to do an NBA video for the Thursday slate, but I will definitely be dropping some bets. Again, if you didn't listen before, it is on the community tab on the YouTube page, on X, and on Discord for the bets, and we will be back with an NBA video for the Friday slate. But thanks again for watching. Again, hope you guys all had a great Christmas, and we'll talk to you soon.